have a secret. Life is just not fun anymore. It's difficult and demanding. I have to wonder if this is all there is, you know. Click and scroll, rinse, repeat. I don't know, I feel like I'm running from the pain, like I'm putting it all back together when reality crashes in some Humpty Dumpty episode, you know. Am I a loser? Who knows? Let's try that again. We all have those days. My name is Coach Kat, and I'm here to invite you to a free, fun-filled 12-part series where I connect the dots, consult my trusty canine, and share some wisdom from my 16 years as a life coach. Remember, you're never too old to play, and we'll see you soon. Welcome back, guys. You are halfway through, believe it or not. You're watching Coach Kat and What Emotions. And what we want to talk about today is resilience. And I've called this session Keep Walking Grasshopper, because sometimes we're going through this process and it seems never ending. And I'm here to tell you it's so worth it. And resilience, and the value of resilience, is our ability to adapt and adopt, because you know what, sometimes life doesn't cooperate. Ooh, that's news to you, I'm sure. So we have to know how to endure, how to trust the process, and a tool that I love in that regard is the labyrinth. And the labyrinth is an ancient symbol. I mean, they found labyrinths as far back as 2500 BC in Greece. So this isn't something I came up with, obviously. But it is a symbol for people's search for direction and meaning. And that's kind of what we're doing here, right? And oh, by the way, you're probably wondering why I have this. This is a transformer, just in case you were wondering. So this is going to be here as my inspiration, because we're going to transform into Bumblebee, which, you know, it doesn't get any better than that. So back to the labyrinth. So what the labyrinth does, it's very different than a maze. So a maze, you have to make choices and decisions, and there's riddles, and there's dead ends, and all sorts of other frustrations. A labyrinth is a walking meditation. There's one way in and one way out. And the way you can walk a labyrinth, there are many ways, but this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to have you go back to the last session, and if you haven't seen it, you need to go back and watch it, where we talked about noble qualities, the I am qualities. Yeah, go back and watch it. And so I'm doing I am intimacy. So what I want you to do before you start walking your finger labyrinth, which is what this is I want you to choose that what am I? So I am intimacy is one of mine. And then I want you to formulate your why statement. So why is that important to me? Why is it important for me to bring intimacy and take a position for intimacy in my life? So the answer to that for me is to strengthen our collective connection. I'm like an advocate for solidarity. So that's my intention going into the labyrinth. And so you take your finger, and what I want you to do, again, is just have that awareness, have that focal point, and begin walking the labyrinth. And again, there's no tricks here, guys, and you want to do it slowly. I'm doing it a little quicker because, of course, this is a Reader's Digest experience. Ooh! Okay, and so I'm going all the way through the labyrinth, repeating to myself or repeating out loud. I am intimacy. I am an advocate for solidarity. We go all the way. And the beauty of the labyrinth, sometimes it looks like you're almost to the middle and then like, oh, by the way, you're not there yet. Okay, but here I am. Once you get to the center of a labyrinth, that's when you let go or let in. So I have walked a labyrinth many times when I'm working on a more serious issue that I may have in my life, and you might carry something into the labyrinth, like a rock or something, again, symbolically, that feels like weight. And by the time you get to the center of the labyrinth, you're ready to let this down, right? This is where you surrender. This would be that moment, that intersection of you and the universe, where the universe is going to answer the when and the how. Let me repeat that. The universe handles the when and the how. My job is to clarify the what and the why. So this is when you say, it's yours. Like, this is what I want, this is why I want it, but I need support, rally around me, boom, 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 bam. That's what you do here. Take a moment, surrender that. This means you do not focus on that anymore. You recognize that's not your piece of the equation. And then you start, again, tracing your way out of the labyrinth. No decisions to be made. You're just going to go and walk yourself all the way out of the labyrinth. And that is like opening up all channels of communication. Because what the universe will do is it'll start giving you little pushes and prods and clues as to the when and hows, and your job is to respond to those. So to have open communication, the labyrinth is a fabulous thing. So here I am, as promised, going to transform the car into a bumblebee kind of creature dude. How easy was that? And of course, our lives aren't quite that simple, but that's resilience for you. In a nutshell, in a bumblebee. I hope you're going to come back. I hope that bumblebee hasn't scared you off. We've got more to talk about, but you're halfway through. Good on you. Love you so much. Talk soon. Hi, I'm Coach Kat. This is my brother Moses, and we're here to answer your questions. The question of the day is, Dear Coach Kat, I've always been really good at making big life decisions, but absolutely terrible at the easy ones. How can I work on this constant indecisiveness? Regards, constant question mark. So, this is a conversation of the absolute yes. Very simply put, if it's not an absolute yes, it's a no. But how do you know what an absolute yes is? Easiest way to determine that is find something in your life that you're in complete alignment with. So in my case, it's the love of this very fabulous polar bear. And when I think about Moses, I have this really nice, warm feeling right here in my shoulders. So if I have another question about a completely unrelated topic, what I want to do is just go within and let it sink in my body, do that scan. If I feel that warmth, it's an absolute yes. If I don't, it's a no. And if it's a no, it's a no. Move on. CatandMoses.com. Hope to talk to you real soon.